Hello, it's one of the last days of the holiday. It's December 31 and I'm looking for something meaningful to do. I wanted to laze around, but I felt it was a waste of day. So I decided to do something I've been putting off for quite a couple of weeks already. So today I'm going to change my oil. So I figured I was going to walk you guys through it. It's not really a very complicated process. It's something that I think people should know how to do, whatever the kind of vehicle that they have. But today we're going to do it on my motorcycle because it's what I have that needs to be done. So what's nice about motorcycles is it's easier to do. On a motorcycle, it's usually just one or two bolts, and then you just have to be mindful about certain steps. So I'm going to walk you guys through it today. So the first thing you want to do is warm up your engine because you don't want to do this from cold. The reason being, when oil is still cold, it's quite thick, so you're not going to be able to get all of the oil out. You can do it, but it takes a bit of time. So warming up the engine gets it a little more viscous or less thick, so making the process much quicker. So we're going to go ahead and start this up. Quick sound check for those of you guys that like exhaust sounds. While that's getting warmed up, let's get all the things that we need ready. So I've already gone and bought the kind of oil that I need. So the oil you're going to use is very important. If you don't know what oil to use, try to consult with your manual or your manufacturer on what is best for your vehicle and the kind of climate that you use your vehicle in, because that matters. I have my filter also. Check with your manufacturer what kind you need. I've got the tools that I'm going to use. It's very important to have the tools that you're going to use ready so that you don't have to shuttle back and forth and that takes up more time. I also want to clean my air filter, which is an important part of any preventive maintenance service that you want to be doing. Okay, more or less all set. To have everything ready, bike is warm. I may have gotten it a little too hot, so I'm letting it cool a little bit. Don't want to burn yourself. But yeah, so a little into the oil. Why are oil changes important? If you're not very savvy or you're just watching this to kind of equip yourself, which is very good, I'm happy for you. Your engine basically is a bunch of metal components working together with a lot of friction and rotation happening at any given time. It's subject to a lot of heat with the way that it operates and with the climate that we have here where I am in the Philippines. These are subjected to some very extreme circumstances. So the kind of oil that you use really does have a lot of effect on the longevity of your motor, the way that it performs, fuel economy, things like that. Using, number one, following your prescribed maintenance schedule is very important because this will ensure that your vehicle is in good working order. Two, the kind of oil that you use will also, performance of your oil is basically the performance of your engine. So if you don't invest in good oil, your engine will still run, your vehicle will operate, but not having the right oil will limit its potential. So let's get right. Okay, so what we're gonna do first is loosen or remove this cap so that you don't have pressure building up inside. And then next you want to remove your oil filter. Now sometimes this would be in a different location depending on the kind of vehicle that you have. The oil filter, I'll show you what it looks like new later on. So that would be a little warm. So you'll see the oil draining out now. Okay, next we have the drain plug itself. This particular one uses a 10 mm Allen socket. This would differ depending on the kind of vehicle that you have. It's very important to make sure that you have the right tools ahead of time, because initially I wanted to do this sometime earlier on, but I did not have the right tools. So sometimes you just bring it to qualified professional. My hand was in the way there. But there you have all of the old dirty oil just coming out. What you want to do is give it a few minutes to kind of drip out completely so that you get all of the old oil time to just really come out. So while we're waiting for that, let me talk you more through why we do oil changes and things to look out for. So I've already mentioned that while we're doing that, we're going to be cleaning our air filter, which I've already removed. It's a washable filter. Not all filters are washable. This particular one is. Anyway, so there's two things you're looking out for with your oil. First, the color. Like you said earlier, it goes through a lot inside the engine. You're subject to a lot of heat and a lot of the elements. It's very important that motor oil, which when you first put it in, is very caramelly golden color, you'll notice, but over time it turns into this brown black sludge. The thing about the oil is that over time it kind of burns. If your oil smells a little bit like it has burned, that's usually a sign that your engine may need some looking over, some checking. Very critical to look into. Next is sediments. You don't want metal sediments or metal shavings in your engine, because what that means is that there's portions of the metal that are shaving against each other. You don't want that in your engine, really. Meanwhile, this filter is what filters out dirt and debris from entering your engine. So the cleaner your filter, the cleaner your oil will be. And because we're waiting for the oil to kind of drip out of the engine, we do have some time to do this. So what I'm doing right now is applying this filter cleaner. So what it does, it's dissolving road grime, supposedly. So fine sediments that occur in the air because of the road conditions, it's supposed to dissolve. So we're gonna wait for that to dry out before we apply this other thing, which is the filter oil, which is designed to restore filter efficiency. So we're just reading the labels here. It's actually also my first time doing this, but it's a pretty straightforward process. I think we're doing this right. So let me show you what I'm seeing right now. There you go. Okay, it's looking like I've got most of the oil out already. It's time to continue with our oil change. So what we're gonna do first is start cleaning out all of those things that we took out. You want to check your oil drain plug. If your oil drain plug comes with a magnet like this one does, you want to check for debris or grime, metal parts. The reason it has a magnet is so that it catches metal parts in your oil, and this one looks to be clean, mostly. Of course, needed an oil change because it wasn't completely clean, but okay, generally it looks to be good. Next, you check the washer. It's supposed to be flat against the case of the motor, and this looks to be okay. I'm gonna wipe into this. Make sure to wipe on motorcycles, especially. Make sure to wipe where the oil has the side of your engine, because number one, it's gonna get messy. But on motorcycles, for example, where it's on this one, it's next to the exhaust, there's a tendency for that oil to burn. It's gonna cause a lot of smoke when we start. So manual says hand tighten this, so we're gonna hand tighten it first and then give it a little bit of help from the wrench, but you don't want to go too tight on it because you might crack your case. There you go. I think that should be fine. Next, we install our oil filter. So we got a new filter here, the manual, and a lot of these older. Hi, morning. Technician guys will tell you to put a little bit of oil on your filter, because that's gonna help seal things up. Not really sure what the science is, but you also put a little bit on the seal ring there so that you get a better seal. And then install. Make sure you're doing it the correct way because it wouldn't latch otherwise. So it looks to be good. And tighten first, and then you go back there with the tool. I try to use these tools because they're less likely to over tighten with these so they're more advisable. You'll know because if you apply too much, you've got those rubber seals that will take up the tension, but you don't want to over tighten on those as well. Okay, so now we get our funnel. This just removes the mess so that we don't mess later. Again, make sure to check on the total capacity of oil that your vehicle takes. This one takes 3.3 liters, so I bought 4 liters just to be sure. You'd rather have more, you'd rather have a little bit of an excess than a shortage. But there's going to be a window on the side, in this case on a motorcycle, that will say if you've put too much, and on a car it'll be your dipstick that's going to tell you that. The oil that I use, I got the best kind of oil that I could afford because, again, it matters to this engine. This particular one is air-cooled, so it doesn't really have water to cool it down, so the oil will have the right cooling and lubricating properties to make sure that it's performing at its best, no matter the conditions. The amount is important because if you put too much, your engine will have a hard time. There would be resistance because of the fluid, but if you don't put enough, again, it will not have the right lubrication. This says 3.3, we're gonna follow that. I should have 700 left. I put this 300. Is it level? A question that I get asked is, what if I have not used the vehicle in some time? Should I still follow mileage or the number of months? The short answer is you can choose to follow just the mileage. Most dealerships will tell you to change it because, of course, it's a business after all. But normally, the reason for that, there is some logic to it. It's not just purely business. Morning. The reason behind it is because over time, your oil will settle and sediments will start to occur. Changing the oil prevents that from happening. If you intend on keeping your vehicle for a very long time, if you rely on it for your main transportation, it's important to give it the best fighting chance of lasting very long. Then you can follow the duration. Because this bike sees a lot of use, I do intend to keep it for quite some time. We go by mileage. All right, we can close that up. It's also a very good time to clean after this because it is a very messy process. So it's a good time to clean the bike or your car after this. And then you can close it up. This says, apply liberally. Clean rinse, also enjoy. I think this would be better hanging, but just away. Let's move away from the wind. Okay, next, a good cleaning is in order. Okay, now, moment of truth. Putting it back together, getting it started again. So we did not destroy anything. I'm just kidding. I know what I'm doing most of the time. Alrighty, clocks on there. Alrighty, start. There you go. Scared a little bit. As a person who never passes up a chance for a quick road test, we're gonna try it out. Let's see if we destroyed it. But everything seems to be fine. Temperature is going up. Oh, don't forget to log your mileage so that you know when to do it next, when to do your oil change next. Check for leaks. Do a quick around your block first so that you know if there are any leaks or anything that needs to be fixed before you pack your things up and bottom things away. Everything seems to be fine. I'm not surprised. I knew what I was doing. Don't be afraid. Because I couldn't tell if there's any difference mechanically. But it seems to be okay. Yes, the most objective way to find out is your oil temperatures, any hesitation, or, well, the shifting seems to be better. That seems to be more crisp than it used to be, so that's good. I did not know I was going to be riding around. Morning. There you go. Mission success. There you go. So that's our quick tutorial on how to change your oil. Let me know if you guys have any questions or anything that I might have missed. I would like to know what you guys think of this video, what you guys think we should make next. Anyway, it's been a great day. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!